Why post the photo? If you don't want the likes, the comments, the thirst, the simps, the haters, all of the above, don't post the photo. You post that, you're looking for...
See the results of WNBA star Angel Reese prioritizing Instagram engagement over on-court performance. She was even compelled to take unexpected action after facing strong criticism for her latest public appearance. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is breaking gym records while Reese draws online attention, not always for the right reasons. Imagine if Reese dedicated the same focus to her training as she does to her online presence, instead of retreating from social media and expressing concerns about her salary at public events. Despite the contrasting paths, Clark, channeling the determination of a Rocky Balboa in a basketball uniform, is consistently working hard and making time for charitable efforts. Even Sue Bird has weighed in with some surprising commentary on the situation. Let's take a closer look.
Really fun, rewarding, and also interesting to watch these younger athletes step into their professional careers. Obviously, Caitlin and Angel are two great examples.
What do you consider insane? Now, let's talk about two very different off-season stories. While one WNBA rookie is busy deleting her social media accounts, another is out on the court, eliminating the competition.
Much earlier, these athletes are thinking about themselves as businesses, as brands. And it's amazing because they're carrying that with them to the WNBA, and so everything's just...
First up is Angel Reese, the self-proclaimed Bayou Barbie. Lately, it seems she's more focused on living up to that nickname than sharpening her basketball skills. In her latest attention-grabbing appearance, she wore a mocha animal print gown with a slit so high it might have had better blocking potential than her defense. But guess what? Her followers weren't exactly impressed by the flashy fashion moment.
You wear that and also complain and post it and also complain that you don't like being sexualized. What is the take here?
You know, it's funny. I just did another show right before this one, and we talked about how this younger generation just wants to cry and be victims.
You're right. Reese fans, don't worry. Her priorities are clearly in place as she continues to post her latest looks on Twitter and TikTok. In fact, her Instagram went viral long before her WNBA stardom caught up, perhaps because some felt her New Year's Eve dress was a bit too flashy and extravagant for a professional athlete aiming to be the league's next big star.
I understand. You want to wear it, you feel great about it, you got a great body, you play in the WNBA, but you cannot cry. You cannot say anything. I mean, have you seen some of her TikTok posts? Like, she's literally held up an outline after getting waxed. You can literally see all of her business there outlined in blue wax. And I'm like, oh yes, please tell me how sexualized you are. I mean, what?
Reese's critics argue that her social media presence leans more toward fashion and personal branding than basketball, as she spends time lip-syncing to songs celebrating her own greatness. With basketball appearing to take a back seat, some say she's less focused on her jump shot and more on channeling Kardashian-level celebrity vibes.
I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. I feel like there's just so many areas that I want to improve in and to continue to get in the gym and work on that every...
Let's shift the focus, because Caitlin Clark is actually living up to the hype. Sure, she attends formal events like charity outings and golf excursions, but here's the difference. She's also putting in serious hours on the court. What if I told you her off-season training routine could make even seasoned pros break a sweat? Through focused and intense workouts, Clark is refining both her posture and her skill set. Imagine that, real basketball drills and skill development as a priority. What a concept!
Got a new coach who's going to give you new looks, new game plans. You've got another year with Leah Boston, likely Kelsey Mitchell, Lexi Home. And then you've got the moves that the Fever can make in the offseason, whether it be free agency or the draft, to bolster.
While Reese is busy stacking a house of cards with Instagram posts, Clark is focused on refining her already impressive shooting accuracy, strengthening her left-hand game, and perfecting her mid-range floater. It's clear, Clark is building a basketball empire. But maybe all Reese needs is a little guidance from a WNBA legend. Oh wait, it's ironic. While Angel Reese is busy trying to dominate the internet, Sabir has just dropped a bombshell that could seriously impact her career. Yes, you read that right. The respected WNBA icon isn't pulling any punches as she steps into the spotlight. And let's be honest, when Sabir speaks, people listen. Now, She's offering advice that leaves everyone wondering, is she trying to salvage Reese's career or quietly signaling its downfall?
They're in that world. And so my only advice is usually just to make sure they keep basketball the main thing, because at the end of the day, that is.
Bird could very well have been talking about Reese when she linked players' personal branding to their on-court performance. She brought up LeBron James as an example, noting that despite his hectic off-court schedule, King James never skips a workout. See the difference? She asks, almost holding up a mirror for Reese. But there's more. Bird's warning isn't just about missing a few workouts, it's about the bigger picture. In a professional athlete's career, it's the long-term focus, the significant details that truly matter. Essentially, she's advising Reese to put the camera down and focus on the task at hand.
Angel Reese has a podcast. It's her vehicle to be a podcaster, right? Whatever Caitlin ends up doing, it's the vehicle to get you to that point. So you always want to make sure that part doesn't fall.
As Bird shares these nuggets of wisdom, let's connect the dots. Where's Reese? Oh, she's busy complaining about her salary while making red carpet appearances and doing podcast interviews. Instead of focusing on becoming a professional athlete, it seems like she's auditioning for the WNBA's version of the Real Housewives. Bird isn't just talking for no reason. There's a reason she's a legend, and it's not just because of her Instagram following. She's seen the consequences of players losing focus, and trust me, it's not pretty. Spoiler alert: shorter careers, declining skills, and a one-way ticket to remember when status.
You have to find that balance. But when you look at some of the other athletes, particularly men, who've set a little bit of a blueprint in terms of the business and the sport, you never see LeBron.
What happens if you prioritize media appearances over your layups? Well, your basketball skills might start looking more suited for TikTok than for the WNBA. Take it from Bird. She's warning about exactly this. But when was the last time you saw a Bayou Barbie training video that wasn't heavily edited? To be clear, there's nothing wrong with building your brand. However, if that brand starts interfering with your performance, that's when you should start worrying. Now, what about Caitlin Clark? What's she up to? We'll get into that shortly. When the big dogs start barking, you'd better listen, as they say. And it's not just the suburbs raising alarms. There's a growing chorus of critics who aren't exactly cheering for Reese.
The videos we see with Caitlin Clark, she's got actual men, grown men out there in her face trying to keep her from making shots and this and that and the other. There's not a lot of hands in Angel Reese's face here. And I am confused by the fact that she's trying to become this long-range player, it looks like. This is... she plays under the basket, or we thought she was.
First, let's talk about the big names in sports. On the bar stool, we have Dave Portnoy. He didn't hesitate to criticize our favorite attention-seeking baller for what he perceived as Reese's rudeness. But what's really fueling his frustration?
A league whose team sucked, who asked out at the end of the season with an injury, who won't shut up about herself, who ran their best player out of town. The coach got fired, and she started a podcast 5 seconds into the thing, creating all this content.
Here's the issue. Portnoy has had enough of Reese's face being everywhere, especially off the court. The constant look at me act, the never-ending social media posts, and the red carpet appearances. He feels she's missing the essentials. Supporters of Portnoy's point argue that they'd rather watch athletes play basketball than see influencers try to make a name for themselves. How about practicing your jump shot, Angel, instead of focusing on photo ops, they say. But there's more. You might think it's all just noise, but when Shaquille O'Neal speaks up, it's worth listening. As a mentor to LSU's great Reese, O'Neal knows how to manage authority both on and off the court, and that's why people pay attention to what he has to say.